Hi Libra, and welcome to your reading for May 2019. My name is Melanie. This is a general reading for Libra Sun, Moon and Rising Sign people. So given that it's general, it may or may not resonate, and I encourage you to take what you like and leave the rest, and that's perfectly okay. Jumping right in, I do a 5-card spread for monthly reading. The first card represents the past energies which may be relevant this month, and the card that came through for you guys is the Ace of Cups. In this second position there, the second card along, representing current issues, current situation and energies in the month of May. The Queen of Coins, otherwise known as the Queen of Pentacles card, is there. The third card representing any possible obstacles that may show up this month, you have the Six of Swords card. The fourth card being about possible helpful tools for this month, the Chariot card, and the outcome card for this month is the Ace of Swords card. And the card that I have separate, kind of half lying down there, from a different deck that I use more like oracle cards, the card that came out there for Librans for this month is called Gumnut Blossom, and that represents contentment. And I'll be reading about that card at the end of this reading to see if it fits and if it ties all together. Anyway, starting with the past and what may have been happening in the past that is relevant now. And you guys have the Ace of Cups card, really beautiful card. Actually, I just want to point out that you have two aces. You start with an ace and you end with an ace. Aces are about brand new beginnings, new things, new offerings coming in, the start of something. Baby steps of something, the potential of something to grow and get very big and very wonderful, divine kind of potential here. So the Ace of Cups, we see a cup. Cups represent feelings, emotions, relationships, friendships, connections, spirituality. So we see an overflowing cup here. Something in your past has left you feeling absolutely wonderful, sort of tears of joy, overflowing positive emotions, having a sense of emotional growth and abundance. It's a card about new love, new beginnings, new joy, contentment, compassion, creative new beginnings, fertility, birth, the seeds of something, like I said, the very start of something. And something that you felt like was a gift or a blessing, certainly from the divine, from God, feeling very lucky in love, giving you such a sense of emotional stability and happiness, and being sort of overflowing with love and joy and peace in some way. Beautiful. So I don't know, sounds like you've either entered into a new relationship or something, that maybe there's been a birth of a child or the birth of something new in your life in the past, whether that's immediate past or not so immediate, a bit distant, that has really given you, that has felt like an absolute gift from the universe, maybe even sort of completely changed you in some way, and your heart is full to overflowing. What a beautiful feeling to have. Moving on to the current issue, current situation and energies for the month of May, you have the Queen of Coins or Queen of Pentacles card there. Pentacles are about more grounded things, matters of practical kind of matters, earthly things, money, career, finances, tangible things that we can touch and see, and that sort of build and create physical kind of things. So Queen represents sort of the feminine energy of the coins, of the pentacles. She is could actually be an earth sign woman in your life. Doesn't have to be, can just represent the energy of this card. This card is about opulence, riches, wealth, luxury, security, dignity, grace, dependability. This woman comes from money. She has a sense of being very business-wise, very hardworking, and being very earthly, sensual, practical, yet delights in the finer things in life. How wonderful. She's about quality versus quantity. So this card can represent receiving a level of some money or receiving some abundant support at this time in your life, having a sense that your hard work is paying off now, certainly financially or in a practical sense for you guys. Rewards kind of coming in. The important thing with this card is to allow rewards to come in, to allow your efforts to pay off. You know, there's a sense of being sort of grounded security with this card, feeling like, well, finally, you know, all the effort I've put in is paying off, and now I'm not seeing the fruits of my labour, but more I'm rewarded for that in some way. And there's this cyclic nature, you know, now there's this sort of abundance that you're feeling, that you have in your life, that is feeling much more real now. Maybe with the Ace of Cups card, you know, you had emotionally had that sense of real fullness and overflowing, and now it's becoming more of a grounded energy, perhaps in some way. The important thing is to allow yourself this, and to perhaps share. You know, we receive when we give, and we give when we receive, and there is that sort of cyclic nature there, and you have to make sure that you are open to that and don't restrict that in some way. And if you can't, the universe is giving you something, so in return we give out. If you can't give out, of course, money, then you maybe give your time or your effort or your thoughts or your feelings in some way, in order to promote that energy of increasing abundance and solid kind of gifts coming in. There's a sense of sort of charity with this card, of being in such a place of security and abundance and stability that you're able to be charitable and compassionate and give, and then in that giving you will receive as well, because that sends a powerful message to the universe of attraction, you know. So there's something kind of very practical, you know, perhaps creative as well, that is settling in this month, I would say. And things are becoming more tangible and more earthly and more emotionally stable. Perhaps there is some new, like I said, some new growth in this relationship. Say if it is a new relationship that you've entered into in the past, things now are becoming much more solid, and maybe there is new events evolving in this relationship, to do with, I don't know, finances or moving in together, or contemplating that, or creating you know, something new, or the birth of something, the birth of a baby or something like that, that is very real, tangible, hands-on, solid, secure growth in this area of your life. The third card along there representing possible obstacles this month, and you guys have the Six of Swords card. Typically this card is about moving from rough waters to calmer waters, leaving something behind, getting on a boat. With swords represent, you know, ideas, matters of the mind, communication, beliefs, thinking, thoughts, you know, conversations that you may have, and deciding that something is not, it's a regretful transition, that you're like, I have to change something, I have to move away from something. So that's typically what this card is about. You know, needing to head in the right direction, or recognizing that you have to. That there's and you're doing that already. There's a sense of, well, I am coming through some sort of difficult time and needing to use the support and offerings I have around me to make a better choice, and to lighten my load in a way. But what does this card mean in the position of a possible obstacle? be careful of what help you use perhaps to move away from something that isn't serving you anymore. Whether that's, even physically something that you're moving away from, or mentally in your head, trying to move on, but perhaps putting your trust in the wrong people. Be wary of that, and of making sure you're seeing clearly in where you want to go now in your head, or what you're choosing to change in your life, which may feel very necessary. I have to do something, I have to shift something, or shift the way I see or think about something, and maybe that is related to, say, a new relationship or a new connection that you have, or that you've entered into, and is becoming more solid and real, and perhaps that is challenging some of these old notions that you had in your head about what it means to be in a relationship, and you're having to leave something behind that really churned you up, or kept you stuck somehow in your head, and you're moving towards calmer waters, but just be mindful of how you go about that, who you talk to about that, the way you rejig that in your head, and not to sort of overload yourself mentally through this kind of process in some way. Swords being about, like I said, matters of the mind, and yet typically with this card, in a traditional image of this card in a traditional kind of deck, the person is on a boat, leaving rocky waters into calmer waters. So there's this kind of duality of being on a boat of water, of emotions, of leaving an emotionally turbulent state and going to a calmer state, but taking with you a bunch of swords, all 6 swords in the boat, piercing the boat potentially. If you were to lift one of those swords out, you would have a problem. And who are you going with on that journey? And what are you taking with you? Is that wise or is that not? There is a sense definitely of a journey, because in the next card along, representing what may be positive and what may be useful kind of tools and influence, I would say, for this month, you have the Chariot card. Chariot card is about movement. It's about victory, conquest, action, exploration, expansion, the struggle making you stronger. And there is a sort of a sense of a struggle, or leaving a struggle behind, in the 6 of Swords card. So with the Chariot, there is a journey, or certainly needing to take a journey, going on a journey with a lot of ambition, with a lot of power and energy. With that, a lot of sense of overcoming odds, of balancing out light and dark, masculine and feminine. We see in that card there are 2 horses. There's real horsepower there. There's a black horse, there's a white horse. Hence that kind of the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark, the good and the bad. So trying to balance those out. Be wary of rushing something, of just going full steam ahead. You need to obviously balance this kind of fire that may be coming in, that may be useful to get on a chariot of some sort, to go on a journey, to expand things, to work towards greatness kind of thing. But you need to, persevere. So you can't burn through all of your energy all at once. So things might move quickly, or certainly don't be afraid of that, of jumping on a chariot. You drive the chariot. This is about your energy, and of wanting to beat the competition and get there first, and going through maybe hard times to get to a place that's certainly better than where you have been. going through a bit of having gone through some obstacles or ordeals, following the right path results in triumph, results in victory. There's a sense of victory about this card, and real, driven strength. Speaking of victory, the outcome card for May for Librans is the Ace of Swords card. Classic kind of victory card. Well, not classic, but it's one of the victory cards, I would say. Again, aces being about new things, the birth of something new. We see this is another swords card, some new ideas entering into your life, into your head in some way, coming from perhaps the universe, gifted from the universe, and suddenly you have mental clarity about something. You have some insights, some truths you've come to understand, perhaps some truths about something. You've cut away the bullshit, you've cut through the heart of the matter. We see the crown in the Ace of Swords card, a real, hence this kind of victory. You're having sort of new insights and new vision about something, and triumphing in some way, accomplishing something. Certainly mentally in your head, being a champion for yourself, and in that process, there is a sense of brand new way of thinking or looking at something. This is a very encouraging card, but also reminding you that this is a double-edged sword. I'm just noticing on that sword that we can see there was also the light and the dark on that sword, and I'm just needing to be mindful of that duality. We need to balance up our head with our heart, and head, heart, and intuition with God and with the universe as well. So just kind of maintaining that balance, but know that you will sort of certainly come out the end of this month with perhaps a new way of looking or thinking at something. So there is a real bit of a journey you're going on this month, and moving something from the heart into the head, maybe unifying them in some way, balancing them out in some way, and coming to a new place of understanding about something, or ultimately about yourself. It's always about the self and our journey in life. I'm just going to read now from the book about gumnut blossom being contentment, that card lying there. This is the book they're called the Dreamtime Reading Cards. Really beautiful cards. The Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian spiritual belief system. These cards are very beautiful visually, and I love the meaning and words of these cards. So this card came through for you guys, so we'll read it and see if it fits. The gum tree or eucalyptus often blossoms best after a period of harshness. After bushfires or periods of long drought, the gum nuts burst into flower in an assortment of colours. Many of the blossoms smell and taste like honey, and it is because of this that they are often associated with contentment and the sweet things in life. The gumnut blossom bursts forth with its message of happiness and contentment. It can symbolise a period of success after a difficult or challenging time. We could see that with the Chariot card, success, the Six of Swords coming through a difficult time. This is the time to celebrate your success, with success too with the Ace of Swords card, and enjoy a period of lightheartedness and progress. Sometimes you can forget to enjoy these periods of contentment and sweetness because you're too busy worrying about what is still to come. At this time, the gumnut blossom asks you not to worry about what the future holds, but instead give thanks for the situation you currently find yourself in. Appreciate the people around you, smile and laugh, and share the sweetness of your harvest with those you love. The colour of gumnut blossoms can also give you insight into what areas you have made progress in. I think that's applicable if you live in Australia, if you happen to live near gumnuts. But I live here and I don't know if I've seen any lately. I think there's a real sweetness with that Ace of Cups card, and with that Queen of Coins card saying there is something very rich that has entered or is entering into your life this month, and to be very appreciative of that, and to sort of share that richness and that contentment that you have. particularly if you go through a journey, and not to get too caught up in your head about worrying about the future, because all we ever have is right now, to be as content as we can be with what we have right now. So Libra, on that note, I'm going to finish up, and I'm going to thank you and express my gratitude to you all for watching and listening to this. I hope it's been of some use for you. I hope May is wonderful for you, and I'll see you back in June.